Letting go of someone who has hurt you is one of the hardest lessons life teaches, but it's also one of the most important. We all carry wounds from the past, and sometimes those wounds come from people we trusted the most. Holding on to that pain doesn't just trap you in the past, it steals your future. That's why learning how to let go is not just emotional, it's educational, it's growth, it's wisdom in action. When someone hurts us, our first reaction is often to hide the pain, to act as if nothing happened, to put on a brave face so no one sees the cracks. But the truth is, pretending you're not hurt only traps you in a cycle of silence and denial. The healing process starts with honesty. You can't let go of something if you're unwilling to admit that it's there in the first place. Think about it like a wound on your skin. If you cover it up and never clean it, it doesn't just go away. It festers. Your heart works the same way. You have to open it, acknowledge that it's bleeding, and give it the care it needs to heal. Acknowledging your pain doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. It's an act of courage to say, yes, I'm hurt. Yes, I was betrayed. Yes, I feel broken. When you put words to what you feel, you take power away from the silence that was holding you hostage. Awareness is education. By naming what you feel, anger, sadness, disappointment, you begin to see the situation clearly instead of through the blur of denial. And clarity is the first step toward control. So instead of burying your emotions, sit with them. Allow yourself to cry, to grieve, to process. It's not a sign of failure, it's a sign of being human. The moment you accept your emotions, you create the space to eventually release them. That's where letting go begins. Not in pretending it never hurt, but in facing the truth of how deeply it did. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood parts of healing. Many people think that forgiving someone means you're letting them off the hook, that you're saying what they did was acceptable. But forgiveness isn't about them at all, it's about you. Carrying resentment is like carrying a burning coal in your hand, hoping it will hurt the other person, when in reality it's only burning you. The longer you hold on to it, the more damage it causes to your peace of mind, your health, and even your future. When you choose forgiveness, you're not erasing what happened. You're not excusing their choices or pretending the pain wasn't real. You're simply deciding that you will no longer allow their actions to have power over your life. Forgiveness is a release, a way of saying, I will not let what you did control who I am becoming. That decision is one of the most powerful acts of self-love you can ever make. Think of it like setting down a heavy backpack that you've been carrying for miles. The weight has slowed you down, drained your energy, and made every step harder than it needed to be. The moment you forgive, you drop that weight. You free your hands, your heart, and your future. And suddenly walking forward doesn't feel impossible anymore. Forgiveness doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean you have to invite that person back into your life. It simply means you value your peace more than your pain. By forgiving, you break the chain that ties you to the past, and you open the door to a life where you are no longer defined by what someone else did to you. Every painful experience in life comes with a hidden lesson, even if at first all you can see is the hurt. When someone wounds you, it's natural to ask, why me? Why did this happen? But that question keeps you stuck. The shift happens when you begin asking, what is this trying to teach me? That's when pain starts to transform into wisdom. Life's hardest moments often carry the most valuable lessons. They teach you about trust, about the boundaries you should set, about the strength you didn't even realize you had. Think about it. If everything in life was smooth, would you really grow? It's the struggles that shape you. Maybe the lesson is that not everyone deserves access to your heart. Maybe it's about patience, learning to wait for what truly aligns with your worth. Or maybe it's teaching you self-respect, showing you that you cannot keep pouring into people who only take from you. Pain forces you to reflect, and reflection builds clarity. It doesn't mean you should be grateful for being hurt, but it does mean you can choose to use it. Instead of letting it turn you bitter, let it make you better. Every time you take the lesson from an experience, you rise above it. You're no longer the victim of the story, you're the student who turns suffering into strength. So when you think back on the hurt, don't only remember the wound, remember the wisdom it left behind. Carry that forward with you, because the lesson is what makes the struggle worth surviving. The real victory is not just in overcoming the pain, but in becoming wiser, because